Well, hello guys, summer has finally arrived in Northumberland. It's only September, it took a while. And to celebrate, I've come out for the day with my camera and a macro lens, and I'm going to be doing a touch of intimate landscape photography. Now I've come to Allen Banks, which is a woodland managed by the National Trust, and I'm hoping to be quite productive for this kind of photography. Now, what do I mean by intimate landscape photography? Well, basically think details, think almost macro, just think basically almost abstract images of smaller parts of the landscape. Now, I'm hoping to get 3 photos today, and keeping that in mind, I'm actually planning to do another triptych, because I actually like doing that sort of things. So I'm probably going to go for square crops and 3 different photos, which I hope work together as a nice little triptych of intimate landscape photography. So yeah, on that note, let's get stuck in. Right, I think there's potential for a shot here. There's a lot of leaf litter on the floor, there's a lot of dried seed cases, nuts, that sort of thing. There's got to be something here, there really does. But to be honest, I think what I'm going to have to do is take my bag off and just literally have a bit of an explore. Just to prove that there's no YouTube trickery going on here, I've literally just dumped my bag there, which you just saw. And I think if we look over here, pretty much literally by the side of the bag, I think there's potential for shots around this sort of area. There's lots of interesting stuff going on. This in particular here looks quite interesting. So I think, to be honest, it's not even going to require much exploring. It's just a case of getting my camera kitted up, perhaps with the macro lens, and then trying to just find the perfect composition, literally within a metre patch from my bag. So, I'm using Panasonic S5 II X, and I'm trying out a new macro lens. Well, new to me, it's second hand, which is absolutely nothing wrong with buying second-hand lenses, but I do tend to buy them from camera shops. If I buy anything second-hand, I just like that sort of peace of mind of a bit of a warranty. So it is a Sigma 105mm 2.8 art macro lens. I haven't under attack. I haven't used it yet, so this is literally the first shoot. I think what it's probably going to mean, being 105mm, is I'm probably going to have quite a bit of height, to be honest, to get my shot. And the first thing I'm going to actually do is not take a photo. The first thing I'm going to do is actually set the aspect ratio to 1:1 square. And now I'll just sort of handheld try and find the perfect subject. There's probably 101 different compositions I could take within this small area, so it's a case of trying to recognise what I want with my frame. Right, I found a shot. Now, I don't think it's perfect, but it's not staged at all. So in my eyes, that makes it pretty perfect. You will note I'm wearing trousers which are in totally impractical colour for this kind of photography. Hey ho. I'm not 100% happy, to be honest. And there's a rogue leaf that's just getting into my frame, which I may, it's a gamble, because I may try flicking it out the shot. But if it's connected, okay, that's better. That is better. I'll quickly show in the back of the screen what we're doing. So as you can see, we've got this, I'm not sure what it is, some sort of seed shell, nutshell, nutcase. No, the nutcase is behind the camera. Anyway, I digest. So we've got this in the centre of the frame, and then we've got these sort of leaves around here. And it was all natural. Now, the leaf I took away had fallen over here, and it was sort of making it look a bit messy. But yeah, I think I'm quite pleased with that. I'm a bit concerned, A, about reflections. So I'm a bit worried that this is a bit brighter up here because it's reflecting the light above. So I think I'm going to try a polarising filter. I'm also going to hold a reflector over the top, I think. And then I'm not sure about depth of field, but let's get the polarizer on and we'll take it from there. I'm really nervous about knocking my composition, because I do think this could actually be quite a nice shot. Right, so first thing I'm going to fit is a polarising filter. I'm using the KNF filters system, which I still think is tremendous value for buck. And I'm using the polarising filter literally, simply even, to try and cut through a bit of the reflection off the leaves of the sky above. And next up, and you've seen me use this before many a time, the humble reflector, which I'm going to put over just to try and block out any light, which in turn should help saturate the colours. Now, I'm really concerned about depth of field. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a shot, I think, at f16. I'm going to block out some light. I'm on a 10-second self-timer, which is a staggering 20 seconds at f14. And I don't think it's going to be enough depth of field. So we'll just let that whir away. And the reason why I don't think there's going to be enough depth of field is because basically the closer you get to something, the more that depth of field reduces. That's why when you shoot a portrait, you want to try and be quite close to the person, because the depth of field is reduced and so everything behind will be able to focus. Well, here, you're even closer to the subject. You know, what are we? 10 inches away from the subject. So this depth of field now is really quite razor thin. So even though I'm at f14, I still don't think it's going to be front to back sharpness. So what I'm going to do is take this one shot, and then I'm going to take another sequence of focus stacked, probably at about f5.6, and I'll take one on the seed case itself, and then one on the leaves behind them, and perhaps on the further out bit of the leaves, and then I'll... with that shot. Anyway, I'm not alone today. Look what I found.
The wild man of the woods.
Yeah, see? It's amazing who you bump into walking out here. Now, I'm out with David Taylor Photography, when he's come to join me, but just look at the size of his micro four foot system though with this little macro lens. It's just, yeah, I may be slightly jealous of the size, but yeah, David's out playing with his new macro lens, I'm playing with mine. We are going to be discussing the workshops, which I'm not sure if you've missed it or know about them, but we are running a series of group workshops next year throughout Northumberland. So it's nice for me, David, to meet up, pretend to actually talk about them, but actually just end up taking photos and just enjoying photography, which is what it's all about. And that's why it's probably be nice for you to join us if you fancy it. But anyway, I'm going to try and find the second shot because I was really pleased with that one. So I feel like I've set my benchmark a little bit high. So yeah, this could be a tricky one. So David's just taking his, but I've got my next shot, I think. And I'm not sure if you can see it because it's that small. But right here, see these 3 mushrooms here? This will be my first mushroom photography of the year. And as you've probably guessed by now, I've got a real soft spot for photographing mushrooms. So yeah, I'm going to get set up and talk you all through it. Right, so with this subject being so low, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a different sort of tripod. Because this tripod is never going to get that low. So I'm going to use this little Manfrotto table tripod, which I've had for absolutely years. And what it normally does, it normally just screws onto the base of your camera, but I've actually put an Arca bracket onto it. So it makes life just that little bit simpler. The angle's not perfect for the subject, if I'm being honest. But it may do, Let's have a look. Only one way to find out. This little tripod actually always quite amazes me how sturdy it actually is. Oh, you know what? I almost feel like I'm cheating here. This is just a bit too simple. Right, so I've just switched it to the monitor view. I may have sort of got a little bit cocky on my last comment about saying that it fell into place, it was all too easy, because actually I have messed on for a good 20 minutes just to try and get the right angle. And the problem was that it was really simple to just take a full-on in-your-face portrait shot of the mushrooms, but that doesn't fit in the feel of the triptych, and I want the 3 photos to work together, and I just felt like it was just too in your face. The mushrooms were just too big, so we needed a bit more context on it. We needed it to sort of tell a bigger story, I suppose. So I've settled on this composition. I quite like the angle. I think I'm going to have to focus stack again, but what I want to do first of all is demonstrate what the Humble reflector can do. So if you look at the viewfinder, in fact I might just drop the exposure down a touch. So now looking at the subject, can you see the difference it's making there? That nice bit of a glow, which I think that's actually lovely. So I'm going to do one at f16. Which is giving me 8 seconds. So f16, ISO 100, 8 seconds, and that's minus 2/3 of a stop, which it may or may not need, to be honest. See, that does actually look quite nice. Detail is amazing. It seems a nice sharp lens. All I would say is I'm a bit concerned about the out of focus areas at the back. So the same as last time, I'm now going to go to f5.6 and I'm going to focus one on the middle mushroom, one on Right guys, future me is going to jump in at this point and try and explain exactly what went wrong with the stacking. Now, I think the problem was, if you remember, I said earlier, especially I think it was during the first image, that as you get closer to your subject, your plane of depth of field decreases. Now, this meant that I had a very shallow depth of field at 5.6, which was the aperture I decided to choose for the stacked shots. And I manually stacked the shots, and I did only take, I think on the first shot I took 3 shots stacked, and on the second shot I think I took about 5 or 6. So what happened was, effectively, in each individual image, I didn't actually have enough in focus to create one single file which had front to back sharpness. So effectively I needed to either increase my aperture and get more depth of field, or simply take more shots. Now, I was manually taking the shots, I was manually focusing, bracketing, by just using the points on the screen and just focusing there, which is what I do with landscapes. Now, the reality is this doesn't work for macro, and I've never done it before, so yeah, my bad on that one, because I should have known better. And what I should have done is I should have read my camera manual, and I should have automated the process, which means I could have effectively chose the start and finish spot, and then the camera would have cycled through maybe 10, 20, 30 shots maybe, to get enough shots at 5.6 to basically ensure that I had front to back sharpness. So effectively it was all user error, it was all my problem. It wasn't the camera that let me down, it was the user. But definitely it did mean I didn't get the perfect shots, and I did get away with the f40 and the f16 shots, but I know if I look at it full size that basically there's not front to back sharpness. But yeah, definitely a learning curve for me, and it's something I will keep in mind for future macro adventures. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Well, I think that shot turned out all right. I've been quite pleased with the first 2 shots, so really it's a question of getting the final shot. And there feels a bit of pressure with this one, because it has to sort of fit in with the theme of the other 2, which has been, they've both been quite earthly, quite autumny shots, I suppose. And I suspect we need to keep that theme going. So me and David just actually went for a walk, and we walked down by the river, and we found ourselves walking back to pretty much where we started. And I think down by the river, it's just, there's flowers and things like that, but for me in this triptych, it's just not going to work. Anyway, I found some pine cones, so I'm going to spin you round. And I'm hoping you can sort of see the thing we've got there, the things we've got there. And this patch here actually looks like they could be quite interesting. And I think pine cones might be a nice fitting end to the triptych, actually. So I'm going to get the camera out, and I'm just going to, I think, again, explore this 1 metre area and have a chat with you when I've found my final composition. Right, I finally found my final subject. I'm not 100% happy with it, so I'm hoping you can see that okay. Basically, we've got this pine cone here. No, we've got a pine cone here, and we've got this interesting curve of these leaves here, and the little leaf down here. So ultimately, quite similar, I suppose, to the first shot we started off with the concept. So I'm thinking this will be on one of the ends, and the first shot will be on the opposite side, and then the mushroom in the tree will be in the second, in the middle. I think that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with this shot. Now, I'm not going to focus stack it, because if anything, I'd like it to fall off a little bit. And I think actually in this case, being out of focus at behind the subject would actually be beneficial. So yeah, I'll get the reflector out, and then we'll see what we can do. I'm going to go for f18, which is giving me 15 seconds. I need to block out all of this light, so now I'll try the polarizer if it makes much of a difference, which is not particularly. 10-second timer, f14, which is giving me 10 seconds, ISO 100. And that's it, guys. That was the final shot. And I've got to say, I've thoroughly enjoyed today's shoot, and I've actually really enjoyed using this lens. I've wanted a really good macro lens for a long time, to be honest. And it's really nice. It seems like it's super sharp, so it's good. It's chunky. There's a bit of weight in there. My tripod has struggled at some points of trying to work at funny angles where there's been a bit of a slip, which is, I perhaps should come out with a geared head, would probably make life easier. But then of course your bag gets a lot heavier, and there's a fair old weight in that. But optically, brilliant, and it's just been fun. You know, and one thing I do always say is that a macro lens will open up a completely new world for you. So today I probably wouldn't have been shooting any landscapes. It's blue, no clouds, not autumn colours yet. We're sort of that awkward in between stage between summer and autumn. But coming out shooting macro, I've got 2 or 3 shots I'm really pleased with. I think I'm going to be pleased with all 3 of them, which is unheard of, but definitely 2 of them will be nice. So guys, before I go and leave you with a final triptych, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And here is the final triptych.